Wednesday, the 18th of December. Welcome to Business Morning live here on Channels Television, Nigeria's news leader. President Buhari signed Budget 2020 into law, 10.6 trillion naira. That was the headline figure. So the jury's out on this budget and what to expect. But what's really in this budget for the business and the marketplace? Let's do a little bit of a drill down. First word on this new budget with Bismarck Rewane, who is a member of the President's Economic Advisory Council and the CEO at Financial Derivatives Companies, Channels Television Economic Advisor. Good morning, Mr. Rewane. We thank you for coming through on the show today from our studios at the Nigerian Stock Exchange.
Good morning, Bosen.
Thank you, sir. So let's hit the ground running. Do you think signing this budget has actually kick-started fiscal 2020 right now?
Okay, let's break it down into three segments. One, the fiscal discipline and the timing. So for the first time in decades, the Nigerian budget has been approved, signed into law in the year before, that is in 2019. So that's a record, number one. Two, the amount. The amount itself, if you discount for inflation, is only an increase of about 8%. So in all, we're talking about almost $28 billion in a $420 billion economy. It is higher than last year, but it's not significant enough to move the needle. So if we're trying to have transformative growth, we need to do a little bit more than what we're doing right now. Thirdly, as a tool of management, basically what you've seen here is that the deficit is something like 2.3 trillion naira, and there's some amount of borrowing. So essentially, if you claw back what would have gone into the excess crude account, you are actually playing around with almost a balanced budget concept, which means that we are trying to live within our means. Austerity is good, but prosperity is better. So what this government will be doing, I think, and I suspect, is that it's going to be investing significantly in projects, specifically that have linkages, that have multiplier effect on the people. And that starts with the budget. But the budget is not all. The budget is only the federal government's budget. There are state government budgets. There are private sector budgets. When you put all in all, we are looking for a higher level of gross capital formation, higher level of savings, and more than anything else, higher level of productivity. And this will happen if you drill down into the budget itself. Even though the budget is a document, it shows you the intent of government to achieve these things. Again, but the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Are we going to see some impact? All of this will depend on the implementation and the commitment of the policymakers to achieving these set goals.
President Buhari looks enthused with this budget. He says he thinks this budget can work considering the outlook of the global oil market as well as the strategic revenue program that his administration is putting in place. Do you share that sentiment?
Well, you see, the benchmark price was, the executive suggested 55. The legislature increased to 57. There's nothing we can do about that, 57. But as of today, the price of Brent is about 66. And so there's a headroom of about $9 to $10 today. But that's static. We are looking for the average of the year. If during the year we have anything above, let us say, for sake of argument, we had $62, $63, that would give us $5 above the $5 headroom. Now, the real issue is production. We are bound by the OPEC quota of 1.71, 1.72 million barrels a day, excluding condensates. As of the last 2-3 months, we've been producing above our quota. I think that the government is going to have to manage the OPEC expectations and ensure that we comply with the discipline. Don't forget that OPEC Secretary General is a Nigerian, so we have to be seen to behave properly. Having said that, how do we use the proceeds of this money? There are many programs in place to ensure that there's maximum utilization of the resources. I can say confidently that those programs, if implemented as originally envisaged, will have an impact. But the point is that we are still talking about 2 to 2.2%, 2.3% growth. That is suboptimal. We need to do something that is a game changer, a catalyst, right? And something that will jumpstart the economy, that will boost us and take us leapfrog to to a higher level of productivity and output. That is the challenge of, one, the Nigerian private sector, two, the Nigerian consumer, three, the government, and four, more importantly, the fiscal and monetary authorities in Nigeria.
You spoke earlier, Mr. Rawane, about austerity and prosperity. Do you think we can use an austere budget to achieve a prosperous economy? Mr. President, in every speech and everything he said, wants a prosperous Nigeria, but is working on a lean budget or a lean purse, as it were. Do you think he will be able to achieve it? If yes, how?
Okay, good question. The important thing here is that the president is drawing a baseline. This is where we are. Let us establish a baseline first, and then we leapfrog. It's not going to happen in 1 year. It's not going to happen immediately, but the foundation for a leapfrog has to be laid. So yes, I agree that the austerity strategy blocks the leakages, but you need an impetus. You need a big boost. And that is going to come from these massive investment programs in rail, in roads, in airports, in refineries, and private sector, more than anything else, private sector participation. Government spending and government investment is not going to do it. It's necessary, but it is not sufficient. What makes a necessary condition sufficient is the participation of the private sector, international and domestic. That is where that's the clincher. So the Nigerian government and Nigerian policymakers are going to be judged not by what we say, but by what we do. And there must be sanctity of contracts, there must be good behavior. And I think if it's going by the words, I think we are saying the right things. But going by the deeds, we now have to start doing a lot of the good things. I think that's the challenge. So I'm, again, cautiously optimistic about 2020. I think we've bottomed out. But the road out into prosperity is going to be a hard one. It's not going to come by wishes. It's not going to come by documents. It's going to come by combined efforts, carrying the people along. The government has to carry the people, has to have the confidence of investors, confidence of consumers, and confidence of everybody. If that is done, or even if we start doing it, it's never a finished project. Once we start doing that and carrying everybody along, you will see the impact is tremendous. And we can easily double our output from the current 2% to 4 and 5%. But it takes a lot of hard work. So it's not wishful thinking, it is hard work. We have some hard choices to make, and we need to start doing it like yesterday.
When budget issues are discussed, one aspect of it that always grabs the headlines has to do with borrowings to fund the deficit, which Mr. President yesterday says he will be sending a fresh borrowing plan 2020-2022 to the Senate. This is in addition to the discussion about $30 billion of 2016 to 2018 borrowings, which the Senate says they will okay for the executive branch. Mr. Rawane, what's your take on this?
Well, you see, borrowing, project-specific borrowing, which impacts productivity, I have nothing against. Borrowing for general consumption should be discouraged. So the devil is in the detail. I think that this is a presentation of an old borrowing program, which targeted special projects for infrastructure. $29 billion, $30 billion, where you have an infrastructure deficit of over $300 billion, is only 10% of your requirements. But you cannot saddle the next generation with so much debt. So I think it has to be dissected when the details are known. And I mean, the government is borrowing for everybody, for you and I and everybody. So we have an interest. It's not, the government is not borrowing for itself. It's borrowing on behalf of the Nigerian public and Nigerian people. I think that is the question. Are we, and again, I want to reiterate, borrowing for specific projects. If you are borrowing to complete the Lagos-Ibadan rail and that carries people and goods and decongest Apapa, that's great. I don't care how much you borrow for that. If you are borrowing to complete the Lagos-Ibadan expressway, the Kano to Abuja expressway, the Kano to Maiduguri expressway, and so that people can travel seamlessly and goods can go from raw material points to markets, be my guest. That is what we need. But borrowing for importing petrol and kerosene, no, that should not be. That should be discouraged. We should live within our means for our consumption, or we can borrow and invest for our, our infrastructure gap. That we definitely have to increase labor productivity growth, which is negative today. Total factor productivity growth is negative. We need to do something to turn that positive. Small countries like Ethiopia, Rwanda, Ivory Coast, and Kenya are growing above 7%. There's no reason why Nigeria, with all the resources, and you and I know that, to be growing at 2 or 3%. We grew at 10% many years ago. So we can easily get back there. But it's not about wishing, it's about hard work. Hard mental work, hard physical work, and more than anything else, a higher level of discipline.
Mr. Awade, Mr. President has done a few changes recently at the FIRS, the new chairman for AMCON, and a few things. Do you have any idea why Mr. President is doing these things? And do you think he's set to do more in the future? Do you think he's getting his hands, putting the elections behind him, is now focusing on the economy? Do you think all of this will be a game changer for him? If you have any idea what else he has up his sleeves to get the economy up and running at full steam.
Let me make one thing clear. As the advice the president gets, and he has always been getting this advice from different angles, advice is given in camera. So one is not allowed, or it's unprofessional for us to discuss the policy options on public television. However, as an individual, as a professional economist, I can tell you that the president has the responsibility of picking his team and making his choices. So if he makes a choice and he picks a team that will help him accomplish that, that is the responsibility of leadership. That's why there's only one president and there are 200 million Nigerians. So we must give him the space and privilege to do his calling, because if everything works, it works for everybody. But if everything goes bad, he will take responsibility for it. So those changes, some of them statutory, if people's terms have expired and you appoint somebody else, those are people changes. But structural changes are allowing certain institutions to do certain things to ensure that it is strategy that drives structure. The strategy of our growth is pinned on a couple of pillars. Most important, investment, domestic and international investment. Most important is government spending for critical infrastructure. Most important is the goal to get 100 million people out of poverty over 10 years. If it's linear, that means 10 million people every year. But it's easy to say that, but the work to do it is the critical issue now. So to do that, the president and the teams are looking at how best to accomplish these goals. And so I think the sweetness of the pudding is eating. We would look at the performance of these indicators every quarter, every month, every year, to see that by this time next year, by December 2020, when we take stock, definitely the economy should be better off than what it was in 2019. You and I are going to be on the air, Business Money, on Christmas Day. We are going to be taking stock of what happened between December 2018 and December 2019. And you'll see the numbers, reveal a lot of things. And at that point, the Nigerian consumer sitting down at home now will actually understand, one, the difficulty we face, and two, the progress we have made, and three, the outlook for next year.
Mr. Lawane, Christmas, December 25th, is next week, Wednesday, and that's exactly 8 days from now. So you're going to be sitting down here live here in these studios, not down there at the stock exchange. It's going to be a face-to-face between you and I on that day, and millions of our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. I look forward to that Christmas, business Christmas expectations. Thank you so much. Have a great day, Mr. Lawane. We appreciate you.
Merry Christmas in advance.
Today. Thank you so much, Mr. Lawane, our economic counselor, member of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council, and CEO at Financial Derivatives Company.